Uh-oh. Mangoes?
My bag of mangoes.
Uh-oh. I love mangoes too.
99 cents. Okay. Now that we are up under Biden's regime, my bag of mangoes now costs $11.99.
That seems like a pretty good deal. A bag of mangoes? Aren't mangoes like $3 each? That's it. I want what, $8 or $11. That sounds good.
The American people will lie. And highway robbery is what you're doing. Bring my mangoes back down. My bag of mangoes. My bag of mangoes.
Mangoes?
My bag of mangoes. Bring my mangoes back down. Raise the price of fruit. Don't raise the price of fruit. Don't raise the price of fruit. Bring my mangoes back down.
The Wisconsin crowd identified with the mangoes.
Disproportionately affected the American people. Those who want me to be healthy. Those who want me to be healthy. It's highway robbery is what you're doing. Don't raise the price of fruit. Don't raise the price of fruit. Don't raise the price of fruit. Don't raise the price of
Mangoes?
Well, welcome everybody. We are standing by for all sorts of extremely important results. Most importantly, maybe, we are moments away from Pennsylvania, where we will see, does Trump's nomination still have strength and girth and power and all of these different things, in that Mehmet Oz will win the Republican primary, or will Trump's nomination ultimately end up flaccid and humiliating? Now, what I don't understand is, where are my glitches? Because anytime I mention Oz...
We've endorsed JP, right? JD Mandel.
All right, let's listen, folks. Here we go.
We'll see how the Trump-endorsed candidate TV Dr. Mehmet Oz fares against two
Mehmet
very
Oz.
competitive challengers, including the late-surging conservative Kathy Barnett. Here's
Let's see
our
what
key
we've
race
got.
alert. It is too early to call. Pennsylvania's Republican Senate primary as of now. The very competitive three-way.
All right, extremely competitive. Now, what's the dream scenario tonight from the standpoint of humiliation? The dream is that Mehmet loses and that Madison Cawthorn loses. Those are two endorsements. Trump waited until like yesterday to do the Cawthorn endorsement. But it would be amazing if Trump lost both, and also Mehmet's a disgrace and Cawthorn is a disgrace. So most importantly, it would be a good thing because of the elements of politics that are involved. Let's listen.
Pennsylvania Attorney General Josh Shapiro will be the Democratic nominee for Pennsylvania governor. Shapiro coasts through uncontested. He will face the winner of the Republican gubernatorial primary in the fall. Dana Bash Shapiro is counting on having...
Okay, so let's get an update right now as to where we are. We have all of the different results happening here. Let's refresh and see where we stand as of right now. Pennsylvania gubernatorial primary, we are waiting. As just announced, unopposed Josh Shapiro won. Good thing. Imagine losing unopposed. That would be terrible. We are waiting for our initial data on the GOP Senate primary. We are also waiting for data over on the Democratic side. Now, incredibly, you may or may not know this, John Fetterman had a stroke over the weekend. He literally, an hour and 22 minutes ago, tweeted, "I just got out of a procedure to implant a pacemaker with a defibrillator in my heart. We got the all clear that it was successful. I'm on track for a full recovery." I believe that if this had happened right before the general in November, this could have lost him the general, assuming he wins the primary, of course, which I believe he will. But fortunately, he will almost certainly still win the Democratic primary, and we want him to be healthy. Don't you want me to be healthy? We want him to be healthy, whether it's from eating fruit or whatever. And then we will move on to the general. Okay, so we're keeping a very, very close eye on the circumstances there. Let me close that out, and then we will get back over here. Other races right now. Lieutenant governor in Pennsylvania, okay. There's primaries there. And then, wait a second. Why are we not? Oh, this is just, I guess I need a tab for each one. Okay, so we'll go back here. North Carolina, okay. North Carolina, Ted Budd. Richard Burr is retiring. Richard Burr is a Republican. He's retiring. So that will be an open seat, an important seat, very important seat in the November midterms. We have the Senate Republican primary where Ted Budd has already won. And then we have the Democratic primary where Sherry Beasley just running away with it, absolutely running away with it. So we're watching that. Now, why isn't the Cawthorn thing? Oh, wow. There's so many different pages. The North Carolina House primaries in the, which one are we interested in here? 4th. What district is Cawthorn? Where on earth is this? Here it is. North Carolina's 11th district, Madison Cawthorn, with 43% of the vote in, is down 10.7. Down by 10.7.
Pac-Man's a loser.
No, this isn't about me. It would be a massive coup. I mean, it feels weird to use that word now. It would be unbelievable to humiliate Madison Cawthorn and President Trump after just one term. Let's all pray. I'm considering praying. That's how crazy this is for that to happen. Now, do we stop the count? Do we continue the count? Do we count all the ballots a second time? I don't know what we do right now, but we hope and we pray that that holds. And let's see if we got any additional data here. Oh my. With 1.3% of the vote, Dave McCormick has jumped out to an early lead in Pennsylvania, as some like to say, with quack Dr. Mehmet Oz in second place. That's the Trump-endorsed candidate. And absolute and complete lunatic, dangerous lunatic, Kathy Barnett. The boring guy. What was the boring guy's name? Mastos or something? Do you guys remember what was that guy's name? He was the best candidate. He seems to have no votes. He's not even showing up here as having any vote. What was that guy's? Bartos. He doesn't seem to be doing particularly well right now. Okay, so we're going to watch all of that very closely. But what a thrilling night it would be if we were to see Cawthorn and Oz go down. And as you all know, I don't even know how many votes we need at this point.
I need 11,000 votes. Give me a break.
Right. We're going to be watching all of that very closely. Welcome, everybody. It's so great to have you here. It is an election night, and we are starting to get numbers. Let's look at some early, these are early super chats. We don't want to make any final calls because these are just early. Jesse says, thanks for doing this, David. Very interested in the Cawthorn race. By the way, was it you that introduced Joe Walsh to mangoes? Oh, you guys have to see this. This is a major coup for fruit, okay? Yesterday, actually, wait a second. No, there's an easier way to do this. Yesterday, Joe Walsh tweeted, where was this? Joe Walsh tweeted yesterday, I just ate a mango for the first time in my life, and I effing loved it. And as you can see, I'm right there in the replies. I said, basically the top fruit out there. I recently did interview Joe Walsh. I would be lying if I said that the topic of mangoes came up during the interview. That would be a lie. I would love to tell you that I illuminated Joe Walsh into the area of mangoes. I really can't take credit for that, but a lot of people noticing that and feeling really strongly about it. Bay Photo. Hold on. Key race alert here.
Thinking, let's go to the Republican Senate primary right now. CNN with 1% of the vote in has Dave McCormick in the lead position, 42.6% of the vote. He is 2,418 votes ahead of Mehmet Oz, the Trump-endorsed candidate, the TV doctor, who has 22.7% of the vote.
I like that.
And firebrand Kathy Barnett has 15.6% of the vote. That is only with 1% of the vote in. But right now, at this hour, Dave McCormick has the lead. On the Democratic side, John Fetterman, the lieutenant governor, has a whopping 57.4% of the vote. He has 13,604 votes ahead of Congressman Connor Lamb, who has 39.7% of the vote, and State Representative Malcolm Kenyatta from the Philadelphia area, who has 2.1% of the vote. That is with a minority.
This is all pretty exciting. I can barely contain myself, I know. Bay Photo with the super chat. The GOP drip campaign just might work. I'll be damned. John says, just voted in my local school board election. The CRT and grooming stuff is working. Yeah, that is scary stuff. All right, let's continue welcoming people in because it is a very special evening. I actually may do Twitch unban requests. I've actually accumulated 14 of them. I'm considering doing that today. I want to say major thank yous to Charles Wieland, Junk Saint, and JP DeBeast for the Twitch Prime subscriptions. We are also seeing memberships dump in on the website. I want to say thanks to Catherine Spencer, who's new member number 4 today, and Kevin Gouldy gifting another membership. That's number 5. And I'm glad to give that membership away to Kiana Avalon. Kiana Avalon. If you want a free membership, go to davidpakman.com/free membership. And of course, you can gift memberships at joinpakman.com. Madison Cawthorn is still down. Let's look at the geographic breakdown of the early vote in Pennsylvania.
And you can stick in Pennsylvania. And Dave McCormick doing well. It's early, 1% in, but Dave McCormick doing well right now.
It is early, Jake, and that's the key point. Again, 67 counties in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Allegheny County is the only one reporting votes so far. Perhaps that will change as it often does as we start to count them. This is the second largest county in the state, just shy of 10% of the population, so it matters. It's a big population center. But we have seen in the Ohio Senate race, in the Nebraska's governor's race, a more moderate, these are all conservatives running, but you would say Dave McCormick is the most moderate or the least conservative of the leading Senate candidates here. Maybe Dr. Oz would disagree with that, but he pull out in the early vote. You've seen this repeat time after time after time.
All right, so needless to say, we don't really know anything yet. It's very early. There's basically some results from Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh doesn't seem to like Mehmet, so we can't glean too much from that quite yet. Adam Gingrich says via Super Chat, let's take back the word patriot for equality and justice warriors. Well said. Mark says, David, will you speak in tongues if Madison Cawthorn loses, please?
Strike and strike and strike and strike and strike. Hata anda ata ora bata rata ande eke manda rasata.
Yeah, I might actually. Sir, if Madison Cawthorn loses, will he call for a class action lawsuit against all machines?
We're doing a class action lawsuit against all machines.
RJ says Boebert has some good Democrat running for her district, but it's gone red for a very long time. Also a moderate Republican that came out of retirement to run. I haven't looked into that one super strongly yet. Is it good if mainstream Republicans win today, even if they beat Democrats in general elections, so we get the nut jobs out of the running? This is a very important thing, okay? So let's just speak honestly for a moment, if I can. The truth is that this is just my feeling. This could be completely wrong. Things could change between now and November, okay? Assuming Fetterman wins the Democratic primary, which I believe he will in Pennsylvania, my instinct is that the lunatic oh, look, Bartos got some votes. That's good. My instinct is that the lunatic Kathy Barnett is the one that would be most likely to lose to Fetterman. At the same time, we don't want someone so crazy to be the nominee, and we want Trump not to get his Mehmet Oz victory. So that basically, from who's in it right now, leaves Dave McCormick. However, it's probably true that Dave McCormick is more likely to defeat Fetterman. I think McCormick will do better against Fetterman. I don't know about against versus Oz, but certainly compared to Kathy Barnett. So that's a real question. The good thing is I have no control over it. And so all we can do is wait for the results. And as the results continue to come in North Carolina, Madison Cawthorn is not doing great at this point in time. And you love to see that. David, I know you have a few Canadian fans. Can you ask them to recommend Canadian political YouTubers? Sure. People in the chat, if you're from Canada and you'd like to recommend some political YouTubers in Canada, by all means. Ben says, let's pretend Pacman is elected POTUS in 24 with a majority blue Congress. What policies would POTUS-Pacman administration like to see implemented? Oh, I've answered this so many times. I don't even want you. I can't even legally be president. So let's not do that right now. Bay Photo says, with the way things are going, are Trumpist candidates going to declare in-party voter fraud? It would be fascinating if tomorrow, after the primary, one of these candidates claims voter fraud. Listen, what would they say? I can tell you exactly what they would say. They would say, the establishment wants a weaker Republican, so they helped my opponent. That's what they say. That's what they will say. No question about it. Dave Wasserman called it for Fetterman on Twitter. Yeah, not surprising. Fetterman was looking very, very good from early on. So no surprise there. And with 2% reporting now, Dave McCormick still in the lead, which is a great thing. But anyone but Oz. I just want to see Trump lose. I'm not saying I prefer McCormick to Barnett. Barnett is the wackiest for sure, arguably the most dangerous. Thanks to Jen here for the gifted Twitch sub. You're number 6 today. I really appreciate your support. Also want to say thank you to Coupon Code Isn't Working. Someone named Coupon Code Isn't Working just gifted a subscription, and that subscription goes to Mark Bussin. Mark Bussin gets that free membership. Okay, let's, where do we want to go next? I have a few things to look at here. So we did Fetterman had a stroke. Very sad news. I don't know that we want to spend a ton of time on this, but Jimmy Dore is now straight up saying, you got to vote Trump. He's gone full MAGA.
So what were they really afraid of with Trump? They were afraid he wouldn't do this. That's what they were afraid of. They were afraid he wouldn't go along with them. Because he didn't come up in the Republican farm team. He didn't come up in the organization. He didn't have groomers, Trump.
Oh,
Trump
God.
didn't have donors.
Is that just the word of the day now? Everybody's using the term groomers. That seems to be what's going on.
For his whole life, like everybody else, he was a donor. So he didn't owe favors like everybody else. They couldn't control him like they could control everybody. So what they did was they concocted Russiagate, red baited him for 4 straight years, and impeached him twice. Because he didn't have his mind right. So if you were the anti-war person, you should have voted for Trump and the Republicans.
Right.
That's what this means. If you're pro-war, you vote for Joe Biden and the Democrats.
The last true liberal, the only remaining actual progressive. If you're on the left, there is only one path forward at this point in time. And that is Jimmy Dore. That is Jimmy Dore. He's the only true liberal left. Lauren Boebert had a glitch. She couldn't remember that George Orwell wrote 1984. You guys are familiar with glitches, right? I mean, you know.
Truth, essential.
Yeah.
DHS is a militarized arm of the government. They have means to enforce this disinformation governance board, or if anyone has read the 1984 book by and heard about the Orwellian Ministry of Truth, yes,
Okay, all right, that's pretty good.
Cephahide. No more Dropbox. The Dropbox is a.
So that was that. Continuing.
But it's early. We're also keeping a close eye on a GOP House primary in North Carolina, where scandal-plagued incumbent Congressman Madison Cawthorn is trailing as of right now. We'll be right back after this quick break.
So very, very important stuff happening there, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you to Ron is Twitching for the Twitch Prime subscription. You're number 8 today. Also want to say thank you to Paul Crawford. Paul just did a beautiful thing and has gifted a membership on my website. I'm glad to give that membership to Levi Farr or Levy Farr. You'll get an email in the next few days. John Simon via Super Chat says Rational National is a great Canadian YouTuber. That's a good recommendation. Joe Rader says, what's everyone's food for the stream? The Rader House is enjoying homemade palak paneer. on jasmine rice. Which one is palak paneer? I mean, paneer is the cheese. Palak paneer. Oh, it's the spinach with paneer. That's it. That's not a bad dish. I am partial to tandoori chicken. I like chicken aubergine. Aubergine. Some people know it as eggplant. I know it as aubergine. Like that. Chana masala is a beautiful dish. A lot of great dishes out there. Really, really a lot of great dishes. Hard to beat. Okay. Let's look at unbanning a few people from Twitch as we wait for additional results. Remember, if you get banned from Twitch, there is a sort of a democratic process. We call it due process, where you can ask to be unbanned. 14 people have done that. Oh, and thanks to Gendrick, sorry, for gifting 5 subscriptions on Twitch. I used to have a gavel when I would say banned or unbanned. My gavel is broken. It's horrible what's going on. So let's just go through some of these, okay? We'll start with the oldest ones, and we'll see if we need to, let's see if we unban these people. User Salad Snack was banned like months ago for saying, Pac-Man, you are literally spastic. You have AIDS of the brain. They were banned. They asked to be unbanned with the message, I would like to tell your chat what pieces of S you and they are once again. So that's a perma ban. That's easy. You're gone. Let's see. Trump will win 24. Biden and the Democrats are a disaster. Attacking others as delusional. Telling people to go F themselves. Saying Bernie has a cult. Telling other people to go F themselves. They were banned. They said, I'm sorry for my actions. I got triggered and let my emotions get the best of me. Won't happen again. I'm fine to unban with that. The original infraction wasn't that bad, and they've apologized, so they're unbanned. User me said libcucks can't stand a strong white woman who knows she's right. Marjorie is winning bigly. They came back and said libcucks can't stand a strong white woman who's right. They came back and said Marjorie Taylor Greene for president. They were banned. And then this user said, I was memeing. Why the ban? Am I not allowed to stir up chat Obama? Okay, so that's deliberate trolling. That's a perma ban. You're gone. User Crash Burn said Biden is a much better speaker, like when Biden shit himself on television. Biden legit fell downstairs and shit his pants on live TV. They were banned. And then he said, why was I banned? I thought differing opinions were tolerated. Yeah, shit his pants on live TV twice. We're not going to do that. So that's a perma ban. I'm having no trouble adjudicating these. These are easy. User Button Clicker said, your Discord moderators are out of control. Make your own site instead of being a leech on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Why are you on Twitch? They were banned. He then came back and said, every single Republican is an effing scumbag. F all of them, even the voters. It's a little too unhinged, so I think it's just going to be a permaban. I'm not liking the vibe. Let's get an update here.
Played Madison Cawthorn right now behind with 27.6 as the votes continue to come in and be counted. We should point out that Senator Tom Tillis endorsed State Senator Chuck Edwards instead of Madison Cawthorn in this race. Let's go to Diane Gallagher at the Cawthorn headquarters. Diane?
It would be so amazing if Cawthorn lost. It would just be the best. In for 2 years, humiliates himself, loses. I would love it. I would absolutely love it. Okay. I want to say thank you to Brankle Brandaby as well as your billion for the Twitch Prime subscriptions. Also, a Twitch viewer con queso, that means with cheese in my native Spanish, has re-upped a Twitch Prime subscription. Also, big thank you to Kevin Alves, who has gifted a subscription. Kevin is new member number 18 today, and that subscription goes to Augustin Ciel. Very much appreciate that. Super chats continuing to come in. Sir, with peace and love, you said Twitter should not permaban users, but you are permabanning people. Please explain. That's exactly right. The people that I am permabanning were not by default permabanned. It was a provisional ban. I then examine the ban and then adjudicate the permaban. It should not be a default permaban. And that is exactly what I advocated for. And it's exactly what I'm doing. So really appreciate that. Let's do a couple others. Let's see here. Renji Rimmons showed up and said, does this Pac-Man guy ever add anything useful? Guys, it's well known the FBI did all the bad stuff. The Trumpists were just sitting in chairs. I'll subscribe if you add anything funny. They were banned. Their unban request was just an emoji. That's a permaban. We don't need you here. So you're gone. All right, we'll go back to this. I think I'm all set with unban requests for the time being. Let's look at a couple of other things that I had ready for you here. These are our friends over at the Good Liars. They were talking to a Trumpist about the meaning of "Let's go Brandon." This is the new hot phrase among some on the right.
To people that don't know, what does "Let's go Brandon" mean? What does everybody want to do here?
Fuck Joe Biden.
And if you had the opportunity, would you fuck Joe Biden?
Not literally.
Oh, okay, but you figuratively.
Figuratively, yes.
Figuratively, you would have sex with Joe Biden.
No.
Literally, you'd fuck Joe Biden.
No.
Figuratively, you wouldn't have sex with Joe Biden.
Correct. I would never have sex with Joe Biden.
But you'd fuck Brandon.
That's pretty good. I like that one. I mean, it's very silly, but I actually kind of like it. That's pretty good. Here's Steve Bannon predicting that everybody running Twitter is going to end up in jail. That seems extremely unlikely to me.
3 November. Think of every important topic of our time that this nation would not be where it is today. But those punks out there, they're all going to go to prison because they've lied and lied and lied and lied.
Yeah, also looking extremely red and sweaty.
And it was Elon Musk and his deal that brought up, like we said. I told him to pull it and play Smash Mouth. Well, now he is. All of them should go to prison. These cocky, smug, arrogant, they know better than you. They're going to suppress you. They're going to shut your voice down. They're not going to talk about the laptop from hell and allow Biden to go in there.
Is he saying that Twitter employees or Twitter users should go to jail? Now I actually can't tell.
Nation is where it is because of them. They took Donald Trump, the commander-in-chief, off the platform, and they suppressed all the information about Biden. Then they suppressed all the information about the 3 November steal. Then they suppressed all the information about the Wuhan lab and Fauci. Then they suppressed on and on and on and on any topic.
Now, do they care about due process? Are they saying jail these people after finding them guilty of a crime, or do they just want them jailed?
Topic of urgency to the American people. There's smugness in there. Well, we don't. No, you're going to prison because you have lied. That stock is going to go to zero because nobody can trust you. You're nothing but a pack of liars.
Man. Really orange Steve Bannon, huh?
Take a look at the oranges of the investigation.
Yeah, I'll say. Very, very strange stuff. Okay, so there's that. Okay, so we dealt with that. Just so much to keep up on and so many different races. In 4 minutes at the bottom of the hour, we will do another tour through all of the results, but there are many, many, many results coming in. If you're just joining us, guys, we have two pieces of good news, potentially good news. One, Madison Cawthorn's down by 8. Now, he was down by 11, so the lead is shrinking. But Madison Cawthorn is down by 8. You love to see it. Also, Mehmet Oz is losing by 13. That's, however, with only 2% reporting. Pennsylvania, you may recall, not exactly fast at counting ballots. And I don't know if they are doing ballot harvesting. I don't know if they're curing ballots or trafficking them. It's not clear if they have cold or hot smoked any ballots or if any ballots have been found to be covered in barbecue sauce, grain or spicy or even Dijon mustard. We don't know the status of a lot of these Pennsylvania ballots, but they're going to be looking very closely as to whether they've been marinated. Any of these things, these are fishy things that could attract attention in some kind of disagreement in the future. In some, they found a very particular type of rice only native to not the U.S., and they want to know, how did that type of rice get on the ballot? They don't know. They don't know. Thanks to Any43 and Alton's Gaming for the Twitch Prime subscriptions, numbers 19 and 20. Super Chat says, Derek Marshall for California House D23 by J. Obernailt. I don't know about that one, young Fessa, but we're going to try to find out about all of these. Okay? We're looking at all of these. Okay, bottom of the hour, roughly. Let's take a look at all of the results that we have so far, or at least some of them. In Pennsylvania, in the Republican primary for governor, Bill McSwain has jumped out to a lead, and Josh Shapiro ran unopposed. Very important race, maybe one of the most important, because Pennsylvania could determine whether Democrats or Republicans ultimately control the Senate. On the Republican side, Mehmet Oz is the television doctor endorsed by President Trump. Right now, he's down by 13. It is only about 3.5% of the vote that is in. Over on the Democratic side, John Fetterman is leading, and Dave Wasserman has already called it for John Fetterman. I mean, endorsed. I don't really endorse, but I like John Fetterman. If I voted in Pennsylvania, I would have voted for Fetterman, and that's a really great thing. It is over there, according to Dave Wasserman. In North Carolina, Ted Budd has already won the Senate Republican primary. Richard Burr is a Republican senator who's retiring. Would be a beautiful seat for Democrats to steal. And remember, by steal, I mean democratically win. you know what I'm talking about. And then on the Senate Democratic side, Sherry Beasley won. So no real groundbreaking news there. But we are looking at this race right here. With now 50% of the vote in, Madison Cawthorn, the incumbent Trump-endorsed member of Congress, who has recently been cited multiple times for trying to bring a gun through airport security, reckless driving, speeding, all these different things. He is now losing by 8.1, and I would really like to see him lose. Now, I don't know anything about Chuck Edwards. In theory, it's possible Chuck Edwards is even crazier. I just doubt it. It's just hard to believe. BR says Pac-Man's on fire tonight, sir. Hold on. Where's my sir? Oh, no. Where is this thing? I had this sir compilation, and I can't even find it now. That's too bad. Oh, I'm going to have to get that on my... I have the file. I just don't know where it is. Okay. So, needless to say, we're watching many, many, many of these races and expecting an update momentarily, which, I mean, I don't want to get people's expectations up necessarily. I don't know whether we will necessarily have the Republican numbers tonight from Pennsylvania, but if it stays with this level of margin, we will in like probably an hour. So that'll be very interesting. Sir, is the Republican Party tanking Cawthorn on purpose because of the coke and orgy comments he made? It does seem that way. Yeah, it does seem that well. People are asking whether I'll be covering the results on May 24th. I think May 24th, there's actually a bunch of elections. Let me take a look here. Election calendar. This is a good page that I use. So on the 24th, we've got Alabama. Oh, wow. The 24th is stacked. Alabama, Arkansas. Oh, I don't want this. How can I close that? Alabama, Arkansas, Georgia, Minnesota, New York, South Carolina, and Texas. Oh, yeah. Barring unforeseen circumstances, I will be streaming on the 24th. Probably won't stream on the 21st. That's what, Saturday? Yeah, I don't think I'll be streaming on the 21st. But next Tuesday, you better believe it. That's a major number of major races on that day. Super chats keep coming in. 121 says, thanks for what you do, David. Thank you for the support. Grundle Grump says, I like Fetterman, but him and his girlfriend look like Uncle Fester and Morticia Adams ran away together. I don't disagree with that.
And I have a key race alert for you right now for the Pennsylvania Senate race. On the Republican side, hedge fund CEO Dave McCormick remains in first place with 36.2% of the vote, about 4,500 votes ahead of Mehmet Oz, the TV doctor, who has 23.1% of the vote. And in third place as of right now, Kathy Barnett, the radio firebrand, who has 17.2% of the vote. That's with only 2% of the estimated vote in. Still a lot of votes to count.
Yep.
Now let's go to the Democratic side, where Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman remains in the lead with 51.8% of the vote. Almost 35,000 votes ahead of Congressman Connor Lamb, who has 33.3% of the vote, and state legislator Malcolm Kenyatta, who is at 12.1% of the vote. That's with a little bit more of the vote in, about 16% there. Kristen Holmes is at McCormick headquarters in Pittsburgh. Kristen, what is the McCormick camp saying about this early lead?
Well, look, advisors here are still saying it's anyone's game, but they do see a path to victory for the former hedge fund CEO. They were unnerved last week when they saw this late surge from Kathy Barnett, believing it came from months of mudslinging between Oz and McCormick, really opening up a lane for Barnett to succeed. They decided to replicate this strategy, allow Oz and Barnett to tear each other apart and take McCormick out of it, hoping that he would have his own lane. Essentially what they did was they pulled most of his negative ads, replaced them with ads about hope and optimism for the country.
Okay, yeah, the background noise is pretty unbearable there. It's still early. They're absolutely right. It is funny to hear it's TV doctor Mehmet Oz, radio firebrand Kathy Barnett, and then millionaire hedge fund guy Dave McCormick, which is interesting. Oh, I do want to hear from the Fetterman camp, though.
Fetterman, he's in the hospital right now after getting a pacemaker implanted today. What's he doing as the results come in?
Well, we know I was just talking with a campaign spokesperson, and he told me that the lieutenant governor is recovering in his hospital room. Those returns come in along with his dad, his brother, his campaign manager. So they're about 4 hours away from us. We're currently in Pittsburgh. We are expecting to hear from his wife, Giselle, and their children. They are here. But again, the lieutenant governor, not the night he thought he would be having in terms of where he thought he would be and how he would be taking all of this in. He is in that hospital room recovering from having the pacemaker put in earlier today. They say that it went very well, that he is expected to make a full recovery. This is after he suffered a stroke on Friday, Jake. That took him off the trail for the last 5 days, those key last days on the trail. But the campaign says they feel very good about where they stand tonight as they watch these returns come in.
All right, Jessica Dean, thanks so much. We'll have more results from the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania after this quick break. Stay with us.
All right, so the news for Fetterman, good health news after a scare and good electoral news as well so far. Fetterman, I believe, is 52. Let me see, double check his age. He is indeed 52 years old. That's right. Born in 1969. Yeah. Thanks to Friend of Monsters and Titan Mars Productions for the Twitch Prime subscriptions, numbers 21 and 22. Jeff in Boston asks, when will the mules arrive in Asheville to bring ballots with votes for Edwards? Let me ask you, it's a good joke, Jeff. In all seriousness, my feeling is I've talked about the Dinesh D'Souza film 2000 Mules enough. It's basically mobile phone geolocation data of limited accuracy used to extrapolate that people were doing massive dumps of trafficked ballots all over various states. It's complete nonsense. But I got a really good email from one of our viewers named actually I don't know that they didn't sign the email, which kind of goes through point by point the film, debunking each element of it. Would that be a worthwhile segment to do? I don't know. It's kind of like, it's so stupid that I don't want to give it too much more attention. But at the same time, maybe it's worth doing just to have a segment like that on the record. I don't know. Oh, people are saying, yeah. Okay. Well, I'll look at it. I'll look at doing that. Thanks to Blueberry Babe and True Dark Magian for the Twitch Prime subscriptions, numbers 23 and 24. I did have a couple of other things I wanted to look at with you guys. This is really funny. I can't stand Dan Crenshaw. Dan Crenshaw is this member of Congress, Republican, who says wacky things about socialism, which we've debunked, etc. Don't care about defending his political views. But he's a veteran who lost an eye while serving as a veteran. He wears an eye patch. In 2018, Tucker Carlson criticized Pete Davidson for making fun of the eye patch. And then last night, Tucker Carlson made fun of the eye patch. Check this out. This is wild.
Texas congressional candidate Dan Crenshaw lost an eye to an IED in Afghanistan on Saturday. Actor Pete Davidson mocked him as one of the, quote, really gross people running for office this year. He added, I'm sorry. I know he lost his eye in war or whatever. Yeah, so that's their position, and they're not hiding it anymore. Useful for you to know. The more I
Okay, so wow, Tucker pissed off that they're being demeaning towards veterans.
think about it, it takes a lot of gall for Eye Patch McCain to attack moms who are worried about baby formula as, quote, pro-Russia. I mean, that's...
Eye Patch McCain. Wait a second. Guys, Tucker did the thing that he said is bad when other people do it. When other people... okay. When other people do it. I forgot about that. So there's Tucker with brilliant insights. I'm going to do this on the show tomorrow. This is wild. This gentleman goes by the name, I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, Hotep Jesus. Am I saying that right? Is that the correct pronunciation? I can't think of any other way it would be pronounced.
A rhino named Mitt Romney.
Yeah. That's Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus was on with Joe Rogan. In this 2.5-minute clip, they promulgate fake news after spending a bunch of the episode criticizing fake news. And then they seem almost upset that the news is fake. Just allow this to develop, okay?
You know, I want to find out what this is, but I read something briefly and I didn't get into the article. But they were saying that they were trying to pass a bill that would outlaw you growing your own food in Australia.
Oh my God, that's crazy. They want people to starve in Australia.
Oh my God. Did you read that?
No.
It was a part of Australia. I think it was New South Wales. Someone was trying to pass a law that won't allow you to grow your own food. And they were saying, well, you could grow your own food, and what if the disease is from your food? It infects the population, kills us all.
Oh,
we can't have that.
Oh, they pulled that card.
I want to know what their justification was, but I'm pretty sure it had to do with like agricultural contamination.
Wow.
Or, you know, like, I mean,
that sounds terrible.
Could justify it if you're a real piece of shit. You could say, well, you know, most pandemics have come from agriculture, animal agriculture. We can't have unchecked pig ownership. That's not fair. We can't if you're growing vegetables. What if your vegetables have ergot in them and diseases?
Okay.
Fucking creeps, man. These fucking creeps.
These crazy people trying to stop people from growing food.
Had a good grip on people during the pandemic. They locked everybody down in Australia, and then you know what?
Just
We're
stick
gonna
with
stop these motherfuckers from growing their own food, because that's how you fucking smoke out an anti-vaxxer.
Yeah.
You can't even go to the grocery store anymore, and you can't grow your food.
No, dependent.
Take that shot, bitch. Did you find anything?
You are now dependent upon the state.
So now they're not finding. Jamie's not finding the article. So now it starts to get a little complicated.
Passes bill.
I mean, I know what to look for. I'm just, nothing's coming up. The closest thing I could find was something like this. That's not
New
what
food. No,
you
it's
were
not.
saying.
It's not in New Zealand. It's in Australia.
I know, but this is close.
New Zealand is like right around the corner.
Could have.
Right.
It's got to be a real thing. It seems too good to not be.
It's obviously.
I typed in outlaw growing food in Australia, and not a single thing comes up.
Hold on.
Except for that, which was a false thing.
Growing your own food.
They want us completely dependent.
Yeah, I can't.
They want us completely dependent based on the story they can't find. Wait a second.
Either.
Oh,
Damn
no.
it. It better not be fake. It might be fake.
Yep.
But even if it's fake, right? Like the fake is usually the warning.
Oh, that's too good. Even if it's fake, they're probably thinking about that. They're probably going to do it anyway, says Hotep Jesus. Even if it's fake, it's that is just brilliant. Okay, so anyway, that was on the Joe Rogan program. For people wondering about that, and complete fake story, just absolutely fake. It's fake, but it must probably be true. Schmoab says there's elements of runoffs in North Carolina. You must get 30% to avoid one for Cawthorn. Oh, that's important. Okay. Wait, who needs to get 30%? The winner needs to get at least 30%? Is that what you're saying? I'm actually not familiar with the rule in North Carolina. And a $50 super chat from VJ Aluru. I really appreciate that and appreciate everybody who's here today. We will be streaming next Tuesday. We've got all the results coming. We're going to be streaming the January 6th committee hearings, which are going to be explosive starting on June 9th. We're streaming all of it. Guys, this is county by county, by the way, just for everybody to know. They're looking county by county right now on the screen. Okay, let's look at a couple of other things here if we can. Oh, you've got, by the way, speaking of 2,000 mules, listen to this voicemail that just came in.
Hi, Dave. It's Michael John Bryan. I just wanted to know your thoughts on how the Democrats used 2,000 mules to steal the election.
Okay, I think this is a parody. This has got to be a parody.
I saw the documentary. It's good. Lots of proof. Everything's gonna come crumbling down. You're gonna report on that, Sauce Boy King? Anyways, let's go, Brandon.
We have a circumstance in the United States where I can't tell whether that's real or a joke. If the country were more sane, we could all say, obviously that's fake. Obviously that's a joke. Nobody like that would be real. But this is the United States of America in 2022, and I can't tell you whether that's real or fake. It may be real. It may be real, and people in the chat seem to think that it's real. Would you ever go back on Rogan, or is the bridge burned? I would go back anytime if I was invited. I don't know that he will ever have me back, but I would go back on Rogan anytime. Let's hear some more Trump mispronouncing names. Do I have the... Oh, hold on a second. I don't think... I've got to fix what's going on here. I had Trump mispronouncing Indian names. Oh, here it is. Hold on. Check this out.
Swami Vivekananda.
Right.
Sachin Tendulkar to Virat Kohli.
There it is. Yeah, there's Trump mispronouncing Indian names. We also have Trump mispronouncing his own name, which is weird.
Then he went, Donald Trump, yeah, Donald Trump.
And mispronouncing Barack Obama's name.
Obama.
Yeah. People asking, did I see that Jordan Peterson left Twitter? Yeah. So tomorrow I am going to do a segment on the podcast. In the last 24 hours, Jordan Peterson flipped out on me on Twitter. Minutes after flipping out on me, he called some woman on the cover of Sports Illustrated ugly, and then announced that he's told his staff to change his password, not to give it back to him, and that he's leaving Twitter. Those are the last 24 hours from Jordan Peterson. Bizarre. Haley from Georgia says 11,780 mules. Exactly right. David, sir, wanted to let you know Davram's from The Good Liars. Full name is Davram Stifler. That's his name. Oh, okay. Davram Stifler. Is that German? Is that Hebrew? I'm not familiar with that name. Davram Stifler. Fascinating name. Anybody know the oranges of that? Man, I don't, that's a very interesting name. Anyway, we love the guys over at The Good Liars. They do great stuff. What's your view on runoffs? Do they make sense? Should the winner in the primary take it regardless of percentage? No, I do think that in general, runoffs aren't illogical, because if you have a race with 100 candidates and the person who got the most vote got 1.2% and everybody else got 0.9 or whatever, it's weird to make that person the winner. So I do think that in general, I'm okay with a runoff, but I think the thresholds need to be properly set. I think that's where I would leave it. If you're just joining us, we have some very, very exciting news. First and foremost, Madison Cawthorn, for now, is losing his primary, although he is now pulled much closer. He is only 5.7 percentage points with 60% of the vote in, behind first place. We would love to see Madison Cawthorn lose. And then meanwhile, Mehmet Oz, with 7% of the vote in, is down by, what is that, 9.5? And I would love to see Mehmet lose. Conceivably, Donald Trump could get 2 losses tonight, which would just be great. It would be great. The MAGA tears will flow tonight, says Jordan Mills. How long before they say the elections were stolen tonight? Yeah, like I said earlier, I would not put it past some Republicans or Trump to say it was rigged tonight. Establishment rhinos rigged it so that the MAGAts would lose. I think it's completely plausible that they would say that tonight. Who obviously they would say that. So we're going to be here to figure out whether that indeed is going to be the case. All right, everybody. Okay, let me mention we have dozens of streams planned. We will continue sending correspondents to Trump rallies and other events, and we will continue the podcast all the way up through and beyond the midterms. My only request to you, it's a very small favor.
I need 11,000 votes. Give me a break.
No. It's a completely legal favor. I would love for you to get a membership on my website. We do depend on the support of our audience. So like we have a team, we have staff. I try to be a good boss and provide vacation, healthcare, all these different things. And everybody works really hard. A lot of the days are really long, and I would love for you to support the work we're doing. You can do that on my website, joinpacman.com. It only takes a second. You can use the coupon code OBAMNA if you want. OBAMNA! To save like 70% or something like that. And you know how they say on airplanes, if the oxygen masks come down, put your mask on first and then help others around you. First, get yourself a membership. If you have one, then you can also gift them using this box. This is a gift. There are currently 485 people waiting, praying for a free membership. I'm not exaggerating. I have 485 requests for free memberships, and we will fulfill them as they come in. Okay. So that's my request to you. We really do depend on that. You know, we've seen Twitch cut us off. We've seen YouTube cut us off. We've seen Facebook cut us off. Everybody's cut us off at some point. Okay. And so it's sort of like insurance. Oh, wow. Someone's pledging 485 memberships. Key Pusher. I pledge 480. Key Pusher, if you're serious, please get in touch. That would be I will take 485 memberships. Sure. Wow. That's incredible. That would be wild. It's an Amber Heard joke. Oh, the pledging. Oh, I'm so stupid. Yeah. Hey, listen, by the way, this whole thing, does anybody really believe Amber Heard thinks pledging and donating are the same things? I just fell for it. I'm such an idiot. I forgot about it. I'm so sucked into these results that I forgot about it. I've dealt with situations where people will write to me. In fact, if I went into my email and I searched for pledge, I will find probably a dozen or so people who have contacted me saying, I want to make a pledge. And then we never get the money. And it reminds me of the Seinfeld episode where Jerry makes a car reservation and he's told by the car rental agency, we have the reservation, we don't have the car. And of course, Jerry explains, anybody can just take reservations. You've got to hold it and have a car, right? Well, otherwise, what does it even mean to have a reservation? Similarly, I've received a number of pledges and we didn't get the money. Okay. Also, yeah, she said it's like when you buy a house. It's like, Amber, do you understand that when you get a mortgage, at the time that you take possession of the house, The seller has gotten all the money. It's just that you now owe the bank. I mean, it was wild. Why? It was I hate to say it, it was a Kafka-esque moment. I know that there are people who don't like that term, but it was a Kafka-esque moment for sure. But anyway, yeah, no, I get the joke. Good. Someone pledged 485 memberships. Doesn't seem like we're going to be getting them. Okay, other super chats here. Tina matching VJ's $50 super chat with no message, just a $50 super chat. Appreciate that very much. David, what happened to the briefly mentioned shorts coming to YouTube? So the YouTube Shorts, which is known colloquially as YouTube Shorts, they are in full swing. We are doing them. We are doing them. It's all happening. All right, let's give away some memberships, guys. I want to say thank you to Kevin Gouldy. Hold on, people are dumping in memberships. Zachary Egan. I can barely keep up with this. Adam Gingrich has gifted another one. Zach Heinz. That's 4 gifted memberships, putting us at 28. Those go to Anirban Bagchi, Marshall Bell, Kenneth Hughes, and Ron MKZ. Ron, apparently a fan of the vehicle, the Lincoln MKZ. Very much appreciate that. Also, thanks to Chuck Conklin, who just got himself a membership and is number 29. Will I open the phones if we get to 100? Sure. Why not? Why not? I will do it. Colin sends a super chat for $6.66. Viper says, do you think Bloomberg will get back into politics? Why or why not? Why has he been silent? No, I don't think he will. Michael Bloomberg is now 80 years old. I think he's good. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but I believe, I think Bloomberg is done with politics. Maybe funding, right? But I don't think he's going to run for anything. Thank you to Any and Zero Cool for the Twitch Prime subscriptions, putting us at 31. We are continuing to watch really the most important races tonight are 2 races in which Donald Trump has a horse in the race. Those are Pennsylvania Republican, where he endorsed Mehmet Oz, and right now Mehmet Oz is not winning. And in North Carolina, where he endorsed Madison Cawthorn, and right now Madison Cawthorn is not winning. I'm delighted to see both of those things. And I believe that in 5 minutes at the top of the hour, we're going to get some additional very, very important results. I want to say thank you to May Rican for gifting 10 subscriptions on Twitch, and also Creative Pixie for signing up via Twitch Prime. Over on the website, Joseph Flanagan has just signed up, and so has Della Garza, new members 43 and 44. Will you be covering the California primary on June 7th, especially Los Angeles mayoral? Yes, I plan to. That is if it's a Tuesday and there's elections, my plan is to stream unless for whatever reason, something happens. But that is absolutely the plan. We're going to do all of it. Okay. I want to say thanks to Stanley Minerick. Stanley just gifted a subscription. That's number 45. I'm glad to give that one away. To Eric Walker. Eric gets a membership. Also, thanks to Peter Hudson. Whoa, a lot of people named Peter. Peter Tokerick. Peter Tokerick. Elliot Cooper has just signed up. And Joel Pitra. All new members, putting us at 49. Hey, you know what? Just number 50. Number 50 gets a free item from my online store. Could be a mug, could be a hat, t-shirt, whatever you want. Next person to sign up on my website, number 50, gets a free item. The fact Republicans are sickened by the other side the same way we are is maddening. How can people allow themselves to be so fully deluded and exploited? That's a question for the ages. That's a question for the ages. Got a couple other things. Oh, we did the mango stuff already. We don't have that. Oh, yeah, there was a Walter Masterson thing. Let me see if I can find it. Walter Masterson Twitter. He did a couple other videos. Oh, here it is. Yeah, check this out. He's been doing some really great stuff. And Walter went to Clarence Thomas's house. This is pretty interesting. Check out what happened.
We're at the Crossing Rivers Church. We came out here just to do like a little silent prayer. Is there like a place that we can put up that's not going to be in anyone's way?
Private property.
Well, yeah, of course, we understand that. It's just going to be, I mean, we could stay in the car if need be.
This is our private property.
Well, I mean, your right to privacy is, I mean, like...
Yeah, we respect his right to privacy, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you for your service.
Yes, thank you for your service, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a tab ready to go.
Thank you.
We're just here to say a little prayer for the justice. Yeah. We're with the Crossing River Church.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
All right.
He didn't mind.
Yeah, he didn't mind.
Lord Jesus, protect this man and his decision and his right to privacy, and may his right to privacy never be infringed. So saith the Lord. So saith the Lord. So saith the Lord.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen. Yeah.
Guys, this is a joke, okay? There's people saying these guys are losers. This is a joke. They're just pretending to be evangelical Christians.
Repeal this Roe versus Wade and its evils, and maybe even that Lovin versus Virginia, so you can finally get that divorce. We all know you're scared of your missus, and this is your master plan.
Hallelujah.
So saith the Lord.
So saith the Lord. So saith the Lord.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
I would have never got that. They'd have took my black ass and jail off the roof. When I get to Coney Barrett's house, I want to get out and say stuff like that. Like,
All right, so the boys having a grand old time, and there's a lot of people doing some really good stuff. Walter Masterson, we have to shout out. The guys over at the Good Liars, including, I've been told one guy is Davram Stifler, and the other guy. And our own Luke Beasley, who was also at the Trump event over the weekend. So really, really great stuff. Okay, we're about to get our 9 p.m. results. Tons of people just dumped in memberships on my website. I'm going to try to thank every single one of them real quick. Thanks to Joshua Adger. You are new member number 50. You get a free item. Please email info@davidpakman.com to collect. Derek Ramos is a new member. Eric Johnston is a new member. Glenn Barb is a new member. Kevin Anderson just signed up. Kurt Reese is a new member. Betsy Hibbert has just signed up. That's 6, putting us at 56. And then I got a bunch of gifts to give away here. Mark Davis just gifted a subscription on my website. Oh, hold on. We've got a projection. Wow.
Welcome back to CNN Election Night in America. We can now make a major projection. CNN projects that John Fetterman, the lieutenant governor of Pennsylvania,
Dave Wasserman called it 40 minutes ago. We already all knew that.
Senate primary, beating his leading opponent, Congressman Connor
That's
Lamb.
great.
Fetterman locking up the nomination on the same day that he had a pacemaker implanted after suffering a stroke just days ago. Fetterman will face the winner of Pennsylvania's Republican Senate primary for the seat now held by retiring Republican Senator Pat Toomey. Let's go to Jessica Dean now, who's at Fetterman headquarters in Pittsburgh. Jessica, a very important day in the life of John Fetterman.
Yeah, he's had a lot happen in the last not even 12 hours, Jake. He had that pacemaker put in just a short time ago, coming out of that procedure at 6 p.m. It's now, roughly 9 p.m. on the East Coast, and they just found out here that John Fetterman is going to be the Democratic nominee for this Senate seat. It is an open Senate seat in Pennsylvania. It's where Democrats are really hoping to pick up a seat in the Senate and keep control of the Senate.
Understand, this is the man whose race could determine, do Democrats or Republicans control the Senate for the next 2 years?
Lancaster at his hospital room tonight, recovering from that procedure. He suffered a stroke on Friday. That took him off the trail for 5 days. We're told he's doing very well after his procedure, that he is expected to make a full recovery, that he will be hitting the campaign trail soon, Jake, but we're not exactly sure when soon will be. He still has to be released from the hospital.
Right.
And his wife, Giselle, told me yesterday she wants at least a week of him getting extra rest beyond what the doctors are ordering him to do. Now, speaking of his wife, she is here with their children. We're expecting to hear from her in a little bit. She's going to be standing in as the candidate tonight. It's unclear if we'll be hearing from the lieutenant governor, whether virtually or a message of some sort, but we are expecting to hear from her wife as she thanks supporters here in Pittsburgh, where he thought he would be tonight, Jake, but instead he is now the Democratic Senate nominee from a hotel room in Lancaster. Jake.
All right, Jessica Dean, and at Fetterman campaign headquarters. Let's go to Dana Bash and Abby Phillip. And Abby, you and I were talking about this earlier.
All right, so we got that projection from Dave Wasserman 40 minutes ago, but we're continuing to watch it. Madison Cawthorn, I want to alert everybody, is closing in. You just saw at the bottom right of the screen there, and we can even take a closer look at it. Here it is. The lead for Cawthorn is now down to only 3.6 points with 77% of the vote. This is going to potentially come down to the wire. I really want to see Madison Cawthorn lose. He is the worst of the worst of the worst, and Prump endorsed him, and we just really want to see him lose, okay? So that lead has shrunk. It's shriveling. It's experiencing shrinkage all the way down to 3.6% with 77% of the vote. So we're going to be, if Cawthorn loses tonight, we're going to have to play some of his greatest hits for sure. So that's extraordinarily good news. Okay. What else do we have here? I missed a couple of super chats. Let me go back up. I apologize and see if I can find them. How do I sign up for a gift subscription? Okay, easy. You just go to joinpacman.com, and when you go through the process, wait, do you want a gift, Moni, or you want to give a gift? If you want to request one, you go to davidpacman.com/free membership and fill out the form. Okay. That is it. Thanks to Mellow Melly, Campbell, Andy Yamashiro, Grass Valley Greg for the Twitch Prime subscriptions, putting us at 61. I also want to make sure everybody who gifted a subscription gets a thank you. So that includes Alexandra Zahn, Stanley Minerick, Beth Rothman, Christopher Farmer, that's 4, plus the one I mentioned before is 5. So that's 65. And I am pleased to announce that I don't even know how to pronounce this. Abhishek Nanjundapa gets a free membership. Shane Smalley gets a free membership. Brian Torres gets a free membership. Johnny Rode gets a free membership. And Bray Grissom gets a free membership. Very much appreciate that. And then lastly, Lisa Calland just got herself a membership. That's number 66. Very, very big, exciting things going on. Okay. Let's look at... Actually, do we want to do that now? I don't know that we do. Let's listen to a couple voicemails that are coming in here. Okay, let's listen. Voicemails.
Well, hello, David Pacman. This is the Kansas Clodhopper calling. It's evening here in Arlington, Kansas. I was watching some of your clips here off of your live, and it's the creepiest tweet of all time is the title. And you're asking, what are these people doing? Is this summoning? Is this Gregorian chant? A few other things that I didn't get jotted down real quick. But as much as I enjoy your show, David, I'm kind of tickled. What they're doing is reciting the rosary. And they're doing it as a group, so it's recited out loud. Go online, check it out. It's called the Rosary. It's a common form of prayer in the Catholic Church, and it's often done in groups.
Good to know. Hey, listen, Chris Wallace is on CNN. I don't watch TV, but has he been on there much before?
Universal background checks. He wants to end the filibuster. He wants to legalize pot. And interestingly enough, for a progressive, he's also going to have an issue he's going to have to deal with the black community because of the mayor of Braddock, Pennsylvania in 2013. He was out one night and heard what he said was gunfire and ended up confronting an unarmed black jogger with a shotgun. And nothing came of it.
Wait, who did that?
It turned out the fellow was unarmed.
Fetterman did that?
In fact, the man is now in jail, and he's endorsing Fetterman from jail.
Oh, my God.
But you could understand how a Republican candidate could work with that to try to hurt Fetterman in the
Wait a
black
second.
community.
Did Chris Wallace say Fetterman confronted a black man who was jogging? Fetterman had a shotgun. The guy went to jail and endorsed Fetterman from jail. That's an insane story. When he was mayor, dear God, I have never heard that before.
Because some of the things that make him more appealing, the unconventionality, as you point out, may not play as well in those areas. But I do think that when you look at the poll, the CNN poll that we heard earlier about
the two people, they're friends now. That's wild, huh?
Are about politics. I do think what everyone has said, that authenticity and sort of unconventionality, this may be a year where that plays.
And yeah, but issues matter too.
Sure. Yes, they do. Depends.
They do. And you could see a lot of people concerned.
Is Chris Wallace playing the right-wing voice? Something about this is feeling like I don't know that I understand Chris Wallace's kind of like role here.
In his favor, given depending on what the Supreme Court does. I mean, to me, what's so interesting about this particular race is that Connor Lamb, as I think Dana was saying, is sort of on paper the perfect candidate.
I agree.
The perfect candidate.
He was a Marine.
Yeah, everything.
Prosecutor.
He spent, $2.5 million, which normally would be okay. Fetterman spent $6 million. But he, in this focus group my pollster was telling me about, he doesn't come.
All right. Well, we're going to continue monitoring the numbers there. Let's listen to voicemail. Here's a voicemail about Pennsylvania.
Hey, David. Ahead of this election in Pennsylvania, what are your thoughts on Philly cheesesteaks? I think it's kind of overrated as a sandwich category, but you let me know.
Oh, at the risk of losing all of my supporters from Philadelphia, I think the Philly cheesesteak is a very overrated sandwich. Very, very overrated sandwich. And the other thing is, it's kind of just a mess. And I'm not a fan of these sandwiches where it's like kind of part of the goof is that it's like a super messy sandwich. Let me show you a picture of what we're talking about here. I believe it is one of the most overrated sandwiches out there. Look at that. I mean, it's like, it's not for me. It's going to be a no for me, dog. And I've had plenty of Philly cheesesteaks. It's just not very exciting. Oftentimes they're using it's not even cheese. It's a processed cheese product. It's just, I just don't know, guys. Listen, I love Philadelphia. I love the people of Pennsylvania, but it's a bit of a trash sandwich. Yeah, I don't like it. A lot of times also the meat they use, it's extremely fibrous. And the last thing I want when it's similar meat to a French dip, although I believe the French dip is a little bit more refined, but that's, maybe a bit of an elitist comment to make. When you bite and then you've got to do this thing where you pull and like a foot of shaved steak comes off and then you've got to rip it. No, it's a no. Okay. It's a no. The French dip is a little bit messy too. I know. The French dip is prime rib. Oh, okay. Well, it seems similar to me. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, let's move on because we want to raise up Pennsylvania tonight, not take it down. But it's a very overrated sandwich. Very overrated sandwich. Let's see what other thoughts people had on the election stuff happening. Let's see.
Hey, Dave, the soy sauce boss. This is Brian David Bruce calling from Kentucky, and we have an issue. You hate no Trump for no reason. He was a huge influence on America. He's got a pretty much perfect body.
What?
And a great head of hair. I think you're jealous because you smell that. Anyways, David.
All right. I think that probably is a joke. I don't know. It's very, very strange. Yeah. Okay. I think we're gonna get away from that because that's getting a little bit weird. Okay. Someone in the chat says that the banh mi is actually a good sandwich. That is absolutely true. And in fact, one of the best banh mi's that I've had, if I understand correctly, the oranges of the banh mi are, of course, Vietnamese, but it's a sandwich on French bread. And you might say, wait, hold on, why French bread in Vietnam? Yes, go look at the colonial history of France and Vietnam. Okay. The best banh mi I've ever had in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Okay. A place I will very soon be spending large amounts of time in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. You go to the Atwater Market and you go to the Vietnamese food stall and you get yourself the grilled chicken banh mi. I don't know that I've ever had a better sandwich. Equal. Okay? That's where I would go. The Vietnamese food stand at Atwater Market in Montreal. Thank you very much, everybody. Okay, whatever happened to Pedro from Colombia? I don't know. He just hasn't been calling in lately. Terrible opinion, sir. Do you dislike tacos too? Basically the same food. No, tacos I like. Booker out of Kentucky won the Democratic Senate nomination. I did see that. An important race. He will face Rand Paul. Why are you trying to start a war on sandwiches? It's just my opinion. That's all. All right, let's get an update on the Madison Cawthorn numbers because I'm getting, oh no, look at how close this is getting. With 81% reporting, we are down to a 2.4% deficit for Madison Cawthorn. He may still pull this out. Damn it. All we can do is wait. Over on the Republican side, Mehmet has closed the gap. Mehmet, who was initially very much behind, has now closed the gap. It's only 4.8 that separates him from the leader, Dave McCormick. So this is both of these races are changing significantly, and we've got to monitor them closely. I love watching centrists on Twitter melt down tonight. Great stuff, but David is purposely trying to hurt feelings right now. Centrists? What is this person talking about? Centrists are melting down? What does that mean? I don't even know what that means. Keith says, have you ever had a cheesesteak in Philadelphia? If so, where? I have. I don't remember where. It was so long ago. I just don't remember. I want to say thank you to Laura Gerard. Laura just made a pledge on Patreon. Guys, Patreon pledges count double tonight. Every Patreon pledge tonight counts as 2. That's an executive decision. Let me thank just a couple of other people. Thanks to Kaylee Nichols for gifting a subscription. Thanks to Nick Ammons for gifting a subscription. We're continuing to watch those numbers out of Pennsylvania. Thanks to Phil McCracken. I don't care, guys. It's a gift subscription. I'll say it. Lisa Calland has gifted another one. Those are 4 gifts, putting us at 72. The recipients of those gifts are Ronald Korkaz, Brandy Grissom, June Hurd, and Diana George. Also, thank you to Mitch Bernay and Brian Lamadue, new members 73 and 74. I really appreciate everybody's support. And also thanks to the Old Tired Road and Bowflex Man for the Twitch Prime subscriptions. David, sir, I read somewhere not liking a cheesesteak is an early symptom of sociopathy. Maybe think about that. Early. I mean, okay, that's kind of weird. But I will, I'll take it, I guess. A big, strong man came up to me crying, and he said, Sir, when will you save America so we can eat Philly cheesesteak sandwiches again? I know. They don't really talk about that. Cheesesteak commentary was spot on. Yeah, it's honestly, guys, it's not even controversial. Philly cheesesteak is just not that great. Oh, by the way, anybody talking about roast beef, leave the stream. I don't want to hear a word about roast beef. Roast beef is arguably the worst cold cut. I mean, listen, you've got pastrami and you've got corned beef. Those are peak. Okay? You've got like 10 things in between. And then you've got roast beef at the bottom of the barrel, guys. Roast beef. Roast beef is like saying, let's go Brandon in the chat. It's an insta-ban. Okay? That's a joke, moderators, by the way. We're not really banning anybody. We're just having a good time. All right, let's listen to a couple other voicemails here. People coming in about the election. Although I'm not finding anything super interesting to play for you guys. Let's see.
Hi, David. I don't know if you heard the other day, May 16th show on Dan Bongino. He talked about the Buffalo shooter and wanted to get to the bottom, the motives, and he didn't want to take the great replacement theory as one of the motives. He just didn't accept that.
It's crazy. We have all these shootings where it's like a murder-suicide and the shooter leaves no note and everybody goes, I don't know. I mean, he was the nicest guy, just quiet, got along well with everybody. I don't know. We don't have any. It'll be a mystery we take to our grave because I just don't know. We'd never know. This guy leaves a 100-page manifesto telling you exactly why he did it. And Dan Bongino's like, why did he do it? We just don't know. It's not clear.
Not real, but then proceeded to double down on the reset theory. And he cites an article from 2018 by the New York Times called We Can Replace Them, and just keeps continuing to spout that headline article and not even discuss what is in the article.
Unbelievable.
Anyways, I'm curious to see if you've heard about it.
I didn't hear about that, no, but it's not surprising. Bronx Bjorn says next you're going to tell us Seinfeld is better than Frasier. Oh my God. I can't get through a single episode of Frasier. I know every Seinfeld episode by heart. People want to send me, honestly, if people want to send me Seinfeld trivia, like real Seinfeld trivia, via Super Chat, I will prove my Seinfeld bona fides. Roast beef is mediocre at best. It's the turkey of dark meats. Absolutely. I worked at a cheesesteak shop for 4 years. I could make you a delicious sandwich, David. Quit hating. I'm not denying that you can make a cheesesteak sandwich. That's fine. It's just not for me. Okay. Cheesesteak is mid at best. How can anyone be that attached to the 579th best sandwich out there? Key race alert, folks.
Key race alerts for you now. CNN's election night in America. Take a look at this in the Senate Republican primary. Former hedge fund CEO Dave McCormick still in the lead with 31.9% of the vote. He's almost 7,000 votes ahead of Mehmet Oz, the TV doctor who has Trump's endorsement with 28.2%. In third place, as of right now, firebrand Kathy Barnett, who has 22.1% of the vote. Again, McCormick in the lead right now by about 7,000 votes with only 14% of the vote in. Still a lot of votes to count in the Senate Republican primary in Pennsylvania. Let's look at the gubernatorial primary right now. And look at that. Doug Mastriano, who is Trump endorsed, has taken a strong lead.
Yikes.
He has now 35.8% of the vote.
That's not
more
good.
than 26,000 votes ahead of former Congressman Lou Barletta, who has 21.7% of the vote. Bill McSwain, the former U.S. attorney, has 17.1% of the vote. Businessman Dave White, 9.5% of the vote. Doug Mastriano, the Trump-endorsed candidate, has skyrocketed ahead of the competitors, although there is still only...
I think when they say firebrand, they mean no actual relevant qualifications to speak of, right? That's how I'm interpreting firebrand. Person with no qualifications.
Congressman Madison Cawthorn has closed the gap with State Senator Chuck Edwards, who is still in the lead.
Okay,
Chuck
so
Edwards.
people keep saying that there will be a runoff. Okay, so look at this super chat. Madison in North Carolina will go to a runoff. A candidate needs 30%, but they both have 30%. So I don't know that I'm understanding the rule exactly. Let's see if we can find it. North Carolina House runoff rule. Okay, runoff rules. Let's take a look at what it says. Let's digest the text if we can. Okay. Oh, I guess I've got to allow ads. That's too bad. Okay. Oh my God. This is why I don't do ads. Look at this. All right. In order to win a primary race and be guaranteed a spot on the general election ballot, candidates must reach a certain threshold. Okay. There's a threshold in a primary. Candidates must win more than 30% of the vote in their race to secure the nomination. That means 30% plus one. What if they don't receive more than 30%? Okay, well, they both have more than 30%, so that doesn't apply. So I don't understand it. It's if they, why would there be a runoff? They have the 30%. I don't. Is it that if two people get 30%, then I'm not even understanding why everybody's saying the current results would be a runoff. Chuck Edwards has 30% plus one, and he has a plurality. So I'm not sure if somebody can explain. I just don't see how the current results mean there would be a runoff. Okay. That when we dealt with that one. Thanks to Jojo Phantasma for the Twitch Prime subscription. You're number 77. And I want to give away some more free memberships. Look at this. Lisa Rader sending a gift. Nick Ammons sending a gift. Nick Ammons sending another gift. And Nick Ammons sending another gift. Nick Ammons with another gift. Nick Ammons with another gift. And Nick Ammons with another gift. Guys, that's 7 gifts. That's 84. And I'm going to give them away. We just go in order, okay? Philip Lovelace, number 1. Stephanie Brewer. Rudis Keisels. Lise Lelivre. Jordan B. Tanmay Kulkarni. And Magdalena Tavares. If you want a free membership, go to davidpakman.com/free membership. If you can gift a membership, go to joinpakman.com and check the This is a Gift box during checkout. But most importantly, get yourself a membership. You can use the coupon code OBAMNA. And you'll see that drops it dramatically. And if you decide to go monthly, which is fine, it's fine. You can do the coupon code monthly as well. Obama. And look at this. I'm not even going to say it out loud because my lawyer will beat down the door and tell me it's too cheap. It's too cheap. Okay. Let's continue with a couple other voicemails coming in. Let's see here.
Hi, David. I'm just annoyed again. I'm annoyed again. And I don't know what it is. It's just consistent that Republicans or conservatives or both mispronounce and misspell words frequently. Mm-hmm. It's so annoying. They can't pronounce Kamala's name correctly. Your clip of Charlie Kirk said Kabul. It's Kabul.
Right.
Guys, it's Kabul. Why can't Republicans open a book and learn how to pronounce something correctly?
Yeah.
They're so eager to get on camera and start yelling, but then they don't want to find out how to pronounce words correctly. They want to act. And I try to watch conservative news to be bipartisan.
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
A rhino named Mitt Romney.
I would never do that. By the way, anybody see Tulsi Gabbard on the Tucker show the other night? It was pretty wacky stuff. A couple other voicemails coming in. Let's see what else we've got here.
Hey, David, I'm watching the live stream with you right now about Pennsylvania and whatnot. And they're saying, like, oh, this person is Trump endorsed. Biden hasn't come out to endorse anyone. Is it not normal for a president to come out and endorse a candidate?
Chat can correct me if I'm wrong about this. I don't believe it's typical that a current or former president would be making this many primary endorsements in a midterm election. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't recall it. I don't remember Obama doing it. I don't remember Bush doing it. I don't remember Clinton doing it. I just have it doesn't seem normal to me at all. David, sir, will you give a happy birthday shout out to my fur baby Boo Boo? Love your show. Sure. What is Boo Boo a cat? Happy birthday to Boo Boo. Very, very exciting day. Yeah. Couple others.
And another thing, the Republicans love these characters that we talk about, the Madison Cawthorns and the Lauren Boeberts and the Marjorie Taylor Greene. They love these people. They think these people are fighting up against tyranny, and these are some of the stupidest people on the face of the planet that represent our people in the United States. And these guys think these guys are brilliant because they get on cameras and they say things aggressively without evidence, without context, it's so dumb. And
Yep. Very, very well said. Very well said. Mehmet Oz has pulled almost even with Dave McCormick. He may still pull it out. Here's some Seinfeld trivia. This is really difficult trivia. The George heart attack episode. What surgery does George actually need? Tonsillectomy. I believe George needs a tonsillectomy. How much does Jerry tell him it will cost? $1,500? And how much does Kramer tell him a holistic healer will cost? Is it $50? Can anybody fact check me? Is it tonsillectomy $1,550? Anybody? Those are like really specific Seinfeld trivia questions. Can anybody fact check it? Nobody knows. Okay. Gallbladder? I thought it was the tonsillectomy. Tonsils and adenoids or something like that. Am I mixing up the episodes? Those are extremely difficult questions. We'd have to look at a script, quite frankly, to figure that out. Okay, fair enough. All right. Okay, let's move on. Voicemails continue to come in.
Roast beef. It's what's for dinner.
All right, a pro roast beef phone call.
Hi, David. It's Drew. I just voted in Pennsylvania. Been a member on your website for a little while. Yeah, so I was part of that exit poll that they were doing on the way out of the Allegheny election in our county office. And I made it a point to tell them that it seemed like Connor Lamb ran his race as though he was running against Donald Trump, and that people were not going to be able to stand on him because he's running against another candidate instead of running on his own policy. Chris Wallace seems to be really confused about that, even though he's talking about, well, the policy matters. He seems to think it doesn't, clearly.
All right, so a Pennsylvania voter and roast beef and exit poll, not a roast beef participant, an exit poll participant. Very, very important. Nettles says, David, sir, what do you think is the minimum amount of student loan debt that Biden could forgive that would have an impact on the midterms? I think if Biden forgave $15,000 in student loan debt, I think it would impact the midterms. Yeah. What do people think? I think $15,000. $15,000 is a lot of money as a percentage of a lot of people's student loan debt. I know some people have hundreds of thousands of dollars, but a lot of people don't. And I think if he did $15,000, it would start to have an impact. Not as much as maybe it could. It would be life-changing for a lot of people. That's exactly right. What magazine is George reading when his mom catches him in the act? Oh, damn. It's something relatively benign. Is it Elle? ELLE? Is that the magazine George is reading? Glamour. Oh, it's Glamour. I think you guys are right. Yeah. These are tough questions. These are tough questions. Trivia. What's the first fake name George goes by? Okay. I remember Art Vandelay. At one point, I know he thinks of Art Cordelay. But is there something even earlier than Art Vandelay? I think there might be. But I don't remember. I know a lot of people are saying Art Vandelay, but I don't know that it is. I remember an early episode where he pretends to be, I believe, an architect. Where he might have gone by a different name. Yeah. Yeah, these are good questions. All right, we are back, folks.
Alert. Let's look in Pennsylvania with 22% of the vote in.
Oh,
you have McCormick at 31.9%, Dr. Mehmet Oz at 29.5%, and Kathy Barnett at 22.9%. Also now in the race for governor in Pennsylvania, you have Doug Mastriano at 41.2%, Lou Barletta at 22.2%, Bill McSwain at 15.1%, and Dave White at 8.2%, again with 22% of the vote now in. Let's go to Melanie Zanona at Mastriano headquarters in Chambersburg, Pennsylvania.
I am getting very, very nervous about this Madison Cawthorn race. It is now it's down to 2.1. Oh, guys, it's almost over. We're at 98% of the vote, and Madison Cawthorn may have been defeated. Please, please hold the applause.
Hold on, I'm coming.
Whoa, Donald. Wait, hold on a second, Donald. It is not yet over. It is not yet over, but it is close. Madison Cawthorn is losing, and he may be removed forcibly from the people's house, which would be unbelievable. I'm about to sue every machine, guys.
We're doing a class action lawsuit against all machines.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. There's still 1.9% of the vote to go. Let's wait. VJ says tonsillectomy was correct. Surgery was $4,000. Holistic healer was $38. You were close, David. Thank you. Here's the rule. North Carolina. Okay. If two candidates receive a substantial plurality, the candidate receiving the highest vote shall be declared the nominee. According to that, there's no runoff. Okay, let's listen.
Especially what was going to happen in Pennsylvania.
Actually, I'm going to refill my water. I'll be back in 5.
And the president is already previewing what the message is going to look like, no matter who it is that John Fetterman is running against when it comes to the Republican side of this, as we still wait to see what the results in that are going to look like. And he says that he does believe Fetterman can win in November. And the reason he says that, Anderson, is because while we await the results of the GOP primary, one thing is clear. These candidates are not your father's GOP. They have fought a malicious, chaotic primary campaign to be the most extreme, and they have shown people their authentic selves, that whoever emerges will be the dangerous, too craven, and too extreme to represent Pennsylvanians in the United States Senate. Anderson, that goes back to this message that you've heard emanating from the White House in recent days as the president has invoked this term ultra MAGA that he has been using to describe the party, something the White House believes is going to be a negative point for them to use, though, of course, loyalists of the former president say they believe that that is not the dig that the White House thinks it is. But it does show you that the way the White House is going to frame this, no matter if it's Dave McCormick who wins, Dr. Oz, or, of course, Barnett in this race in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, Caitlin Collins of the White House. Thanks. We'll check in with you a little bit later. Van Jones, is this Democratic line going to work in Pennsylvania?
I don't know if it's going to work, but it's an authentic thing. I do think that Democrats are looking at a Republican Party and with a lot of fear. This is not, at least it's not your father. This is not a normal party at all. To have the idea that a Mastriano, who was a part of the insurrection, could be the governor of a state, appoint the Secretary of State to overturn the election results, that's even possible in America, is shocking. And I think the president is authentically trying to sound that alarm. He's trying to raise the stakes a little bit, because if you just say, well, I'm mad, I'm frustrated, I don't like gas prices, I'm going to sit home, you could lose your democracy. And I think the president wants people to know that.
So again, let's just remember, it's a Republican primary. It's not the general election, right? So I wouldn't get too carried away about it. And we'll see. We got a lot of election going on still here. We'll see. It'll be interesting to see if Doug Mastriano wins and Dave McCormick wins. What message does that send, right? Because clearly they're two completely different candidates.
We should point out you're a donor.
No, I'm a supporter, donor, friend.
You've given advice to them as well.
Of Dave McCormick.
What does it say to you that he is in the lead right now? I mean, there was a lot of talk about Kathy Barnett coming up. That maybe seems to have been somewhat overblown, although, again, it's very early, 22%.
Look, again, Anderson, I think Pennsylvanians are smart. They want to elect the most conservative person that can win in the fall. And in the Senate race, it's clear. I think it's much clearer in a Senate race where there's less candidates. There were 14 candidates in the governor's race to begin with, right? Down to still a pretty big stable. In the Senate race, it really came down to these 3 candidates. And Dave McCormick was the most authentic, the most conservative that people think can win in the fall. And I think that's what we're seeing right now.
But what's interesting with Mastriano and the Trump endorsement there is it has bearings for 2024. If this is a winnable potential pickup for the GOP in Pennsylvania, and if he endorsed somebody who, in my opinion, does not have a shot, that could end up hurting Trump's viability in 2024. And you've seen other potential candidates back others in this race. But I think the question, to Van Jones's point, is Crazy going to win tonight, respectfully? And I think the fact that McCormick is actually ahead shows that the voters may be more animated by what looks like competent leadership, somebody who has the experience to take on the issues, inflation, economy, et cetera, that are really animating voters. There was a lot of buzz around Barnett, but it looks like she's trailing at this point. So I think we will see where this goes.
I like that you said crazy. Respectfully.
I don't want to count any chickens before they hatch, but I am genuinely excited at the possibility that Cawthorn might lose. We are now up to 98.7% of the vote in, and the lead shrank again to now just 1.9 percentage points. But Cawthorn is still, it just went down to 96%. We were almost there, but now it just went down. That's not so good. Huh. It's weird. It would be amazing if he lost. I mean, he's been in office 16 months. And for him to already lose, it would be delightful. Just it would be a delight. I don't know how else to say it. Okay. So we're going to a little bit of a break. Let's continue looking at some things here. Art Vandelay, Seinfeld's second episode from The Stakeout. Very good. In the spirit of Madison Cawthorn, I, to my fellow gay friends, call him kind of a cute Nazi. What episode does George Costanza say this line? Kind of a cute Nazi. Okay, so there's a woman. Oh, okay. The episode where George gets into the limo of a white supremacist, and there's a woman in the limo, and George starts to think she's cute, and they're like, George, she's a Nazi. And George says, but she's kind of a cute Nazi. That's the episode. All right, let's continue. The voicemails are pouring in.
Yes, this is Dale Gribble. Rusty Shackelford. I was curious if Mike Lindell is going to sue all machines, including bubblegum machines. David, I'm curious as your answer, and I hope that you're not tracking me like the beast does.
Right. Yep. No, that's all. Those are good points. What kind of soup does Newman buy from the soup Nazi? Is it crab bisque? Does Newman buy crab bisque? Or no, is it mulligatawny? I think it's mulligatawny. Or jambalaya. Oh, damn. Mulligatawny is a hell of a soup. It really is. Young Star Prod with a $50 super chat joined. Cheers to the chat and to progression. Vote common sense. Hashtag vote blue. Thank you. And I apologize. I've fallen way behind in thanking people. The Freelix Remix and Starbirdie have grabbed Twitch Prime subscriptions, putting us at 86. Look at these numbers. Natalie Barbera is a new member. Gladys Owens is a new member. Junior Moreno is a new member. And Selena Garcia. Chris Joseph just signed up. So did Debbie Bruce. That puts us at 92. Oh man, guys, we might get there. Nick Ammons just gifted another membership, putting us at 93. And that one goes to, we've got a duplicate here. David Wolf gets that free membership. We may get it, and we may open up phone lines momentarily. In the meantime, yeah, I know. Let's look at the Cawthorn numbers. No update yet. Still a 1.9 percentage point gap. And in Pennsylvania, oh God, Oz has pulled to within 2 points. Damn. It is now, the lead just grew a little bit for Dave McCormick to 2. It's still a fight. It's still anybody's. But I'm starting to have a little bit less of a confidence about some of these races. We will see. Which of the Republican primary candidates would be most likely to upset Fetterman? I think it's McCormick, the guy that's winning, quite frankly. How will you celebrate surpassing Dave Rubin in YouTube subscribers? Is that true? I didn't know that. Let's see. Where's Rubin at? Rubin report. Oh, he has way more subscribers than I do. I'm not even, I don't think I will be surpassing him. I do have, by the way, this is a really crazy clip. Hold on. Where is this thing? I've got a really weird Dave Rubin clip. I've not actually previewed this, but it was posted to my Reddit that Dave Rubin was driving around making fun of homeless people. Let's see what this is.
Hollywood, da 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 Hollywood, da 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 Hollywood, Hollywood, da 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 Hollywood, da 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 da. All day, people. Hollywood.
Yep. Okay. Dave Rubin driving around making fun of homeless people. I guess that's weird. Yes, it is true. It is true that while Dave Rubin has more subscribers than I do, I have more than twice the daily views. And really, views are what matter. Let's listen.
When do doctors expect him? Not you. I understand your cautiousness, and you're the one that made him go to the hospital on Friday. So kudos to you for that. But when did doctors expect him to be well enough to leave the hospital, and when do they think he'll be well enough to campaign?
I don't have that date yet. They said it a couple days, but they didn't give me a firm date yet. He was under observation today after the surgery today. The surgery was great. I think they'll just watch him, and then hopefully we'll have a firm date when I get him home.
So your husband won his race today. He obviously has a long campaign ahead of him before the election in November. Do you think his condition is going to affect his ability to campaign?
I don't. The more I learn about the procedure he's had, over 1 million Americans have this done every year. They lead great lives. I'm confident that he'll be able to perform his job and do a great job and continue to do so.
I know this is all very sudden and you were dealing with it in real time, but I know you understand the need for voters to know exactly how he's doing. Do you think the campaign has been completely transparent, and can we expect, can the voters of Pennsylvania expect your husband and his doctor to come and answer any questions that reporters might have?
Absolutely, they can. I feel that we've done a great job. I mean, we turned around the news in under 48 hours. My kids knew just right before the rest of the world did. And we've been open and transparent through the whole thing. We'll continue to be. The exciting news to share is that surgery was perfect, and he's well on the road to full recovery.
It's still early. We still don't know who's going to win the Republican Senate primary in Pennsylvania. Is there a candidate that your husband would rather run against? Steve McCormick, Mehmet Oz, or Ms. Barnett?
Can't answer that.
No, I think we'll wait to see what we're up against, and we'll prepare to continue the trail and continue working for Pennsylvania until November.
Your husband has in the past he called himself a progressive. Now he says he's not a progressive. He claims he's also not a moderate. How do you think his pitch will be to voters? Policy issues obviously very important. As you know, Pennsylvanians, like so many Americans across the country, worried about inflation, worried about health care prices, worried about health care access. What is his pitch going to be? Why should voters vote for him?
Because he's someone who listens. He's someone who wants to understand your issues. Whether you voted for him now or not, he wants to be a senator for all of Pennsylvania. So he really cares about people, and he wants to understand what your needs are, what your priorities are. And, you know, the label of progressive or not, the things he's running now are the same things he ran back then when they called him a progressive. Now it's where the party has shifted. I think he's someone who's always has been able to shift the needle on issues, and I think he'll continue to do that. He is passionate about the work that he does. He works on tough issues, and he slowly moves the needle so that he gets others on board on this work.
The second lady of the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, Giselle Fetterman, congratulations again. I know it's been a wild roller coaster of a few days for you and your family, but congratulations on the hard-fought victory this evening.
Thank you so much.
Guys, I'd vote for her over any of the Republican candidates. Put her up against Mehmet Oz. I'm voting for her. Wow. Oh, wait, are they back?
How are your kids? Are they dealing with this all okay? I know it's tough. You got 3 little kids.
They are. I mean, you know, we're a family like any other family that will have a health scare, that will face it and keep going. The kids are involved in everything. They kept them in the loop. They know what's happening. They've been to see Daddy. They were excited to see how good he looked, and they know that he's going to be back out soon. So it is a little hard time for our family, but we'll be back together soon again.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining us on this evening. It's got to be a wild day for the Fettermans. We're watching the race for the Republican nominee who will face off against Lieutenant Governor.
The Madison Cawthorn race is very close to being called by Dave Wasserman. Dave Wasserman just tweeted 4 minutes ago, the rest of Henderson County just reported Edwards' lead over Cawthorn expanded to 1657. Cawthorn needs a miracle. We are watching here, and it is over. Ladies and gentlemen, oh, sorry, I froze there. I had to be rebooted. I've seen enough. Congressman Madison Cawthorn has lost renomination to State Senator Chuck Edwards. Wow, what a humiliating defeat for one of the biggest clowns in Congress and a defeat for President Donald Trump. Let's put a tweet together. After just 16 months in office, lunatic, extremist, vile, disgusting, retrograde Republican Madison Cawthorn has already lost his Republican primary, endorsed by Trump last night. Another loss for Trump. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, it's over. Cawthorn is going back to, I don't care where he goes. He can go wherever the hell he wants. He just can't stay in the people's house. What great news. This could be a disastrous primary for Democrats. It's probably going to be the other Republican who wins. I mean, let's be completely honest. But Cawthorn is the worst of the worst of the worst. A loser by trade. And he has been removed very, very quickly. Very, very quickly. Will he say that it was fraud? We'll see. We'll see. It's going to be very, very interesting. Should we do a coupon code to celebrate? I'm game. I'm game. What should it be? I'll put together a Cawthorn coupon code just to celebrate. Fraud with a W. Yeah, that could be it. Man, what delightful news. What absolutely, whoa, 100 likes already. Absolutely delightful. Let me go into my coupon element. What should the Cawthorn coupon code be? Crythorn? That's not bad. Madison Crythorn. I could go for that. Maybe it's a bit petty. Any other ideas for the Cawthorn coupon code? I'm about to do it. Just delightful. No. Man. I'll do Crythorn. Crythorn. Let's actually make it Madison Cawthorn, and we'll make it good on any of the memberships, and first person to use it gets a free item from my online store. You just got to figure out how to spell it. Okay, the coupon code is live. To celebrate the defeat of Madison Cawthorn, you can use the coupon code Madison Cawthorn at joinpacman.com. Madison Cawthorn would be another one. Cocaine Orgy could have been another one. What a great bit of news. I mean, you can't beat it. You really can't beat it. Let's see if CNN announces it anytime soon, because there's no doubt that Dave Wasserman definitely calls these before the networks typically do. Stand by for projection. Let's see. Let's see if they call it.
It's election night in America, and CNN can now make a major projection.
Let's see.
CNN projects that Doug Mastriano is the winner of the Pennsylvania Republican primary for governor. Mastriano, who received President Trump's endorsement, is a very vocal advocate of Trump's bogus efforts to overturn the 2020 election.
True.
Mastriano prevails in a crowded...
This is extremely important because this guy could help Trump or a Republican steal Pennsylvania in 2024. This actually is a really big deal. Let's see if they talk about it.
A Republican nominee for governor of Pennsylvania, somebody who has been one of the most full-throated supporters of Donald Trump's lies about the 2020 election.
Yep.
Somebody who actually supported not counting the votes of Pennsylvania voters in 2020. I don't know that we've ever had something like this and a dynamic like this, where you have a nominee for governor who will, of course, appoint the Secretary of State in charge of the state elections.
Dangerous.
Who has a position of having wanted to disenfranchise all of his Commonwealth's voters in the previous presidential election.
Indeed.
Right. There are Republicans who are going along with Donald Trump's election lies because they see it as advantageous to their candidacies or to their hold on power if they're here in Washington.
That's
and
right.
there are those who were in it from the jump. And that is exactly who Doug Mastriano, who CNN is projecting to be the nominee for governor in Pennsylvania, is.
Extremely dangerous, because they've got basically one slice short of an insurrectionist loaf of bread as the nominee. So that's going to be a very important race in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania actually could determine so many different things in November. And that's why we're watching it so closely. And we will see. Let's see if we have updated numbers here. The lead is holding at right around 2 points for Dave McCormick over Mehmet Oz. But again, the big news, if you were just joining us, Madison Cawthorn has been defeated. A major defeat for MAGA Trumpism by any name you want to assign to it. And that's a really great thing. David, since we already missed Cawthorn, can we do a prediction on who's leading in the next 15 or 30 minutes, Oz or opponents? It would seem to be peak content right now. Okay. Yeah, let's do it. Let me get this set up. So we're going to do who will lead PA GOP Senate at, let's call it 10:15 p.m. Eastern. And it will be McCormick or Oz. All right. We're going to get that going. You can vote on YouTube. Let's get it going on Twitch as well. McCormick or Oz. And we will start that. We'll make it a 5-minute vote. Who do you believe? The numbers right now are McCormick 32.1, Mehmet 30.1. At 10:15 p.m. Eastern, meaning 14 minutes from now, who will be winning? On YouTube, 85% of you believe that McCormick's lead will hold. On Twitch, 80% of you believe that McCormick's lead will hold. But that is shrinking. We will know in 15 minutes. We'll run these polls for about 5. In the meantime, we just had an absolutely huge dump of memberships.
They call them dumps.
And I want to thank some really great people. Rachel Weiss with a new membership. Cameron Titus has signed up. Matthew Coppola is a new member. Tiffany Knott has signed up. Jean-Pierre Gamara is a new member. Catherine Brandes. Hold on, let me get these things done one at a time. Kyle Marlowe and Lisa Hamaker. That's 8, putting us at 101. Also want to say thanks to Scott Labrie for gifting a membership and Peter DiVincenzo. Rachel Weiss also with a gift. Austin Krager with a gift. And Junior Moreno with a gift. That puts us at 106. The 5 gifts go to Becky Danu, Nancy Horgan, Canadian Maple, Jeffrey Thurwatcher, and Sandra Sally. Lastly, thanks to David Roman for the website membership. You're number 107. And then I also want to say thank you to Dango in Candlelight, Kay Ramsey, and Blueberry Babe for the Twitch Prime subscriptions. And also thanks to Scooter McScoots for the Twitch Prime. Very much appreciate that. What a day. Madison Cawthorn has been defeated, and it is delightful news. Just delightful news. We are celebrating that with the coupon code Madison Crythorn. Madison Crythorn. Let me even put it in the box above me. Madison Crythorn. There it is. Madison Crythorn, because we are rejoicing in the fact that one of the worst people in the House lost. That's good news. Okay? On the polling question, who will lead the Pennsylvania Republican Senate race at 10:15 p.m. Eastern? 85% of you on YouTube believe it will be Dave McCormick. And 75% of you on Twitch believe it will be Dave McCormick. I believe it will also be Dave McCormick. That's at least my hope. Although the lead has just shrunk to its smallest of the evening. Oh, it was supposed to be a prediction. Oh, hold on. Let me see if I can end this. How do I do a prediction? Channel points? God. Anybody know how to set up a prediction on Twitch? Prediction. Oh, okay. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Who will lead PA GOP Senate at 10:15 p.m. Eastern? So you'd have to go over to Twitch to vote on this. McCormick or Oz, and we'll make it a 5-minute. GOP Senate at 10:15 p.m. Eastern. Okay, there we go. Starting the prediction. Okay, and go. Beautiful. We've got it going. Okay, now we're actually doing it. Let's get back over here to CNN, standing by for the speech.
The governorship of Pennsylvania, and we're waiting for Doug Mastriano. He's about to speak there. We'll hear what Mastriano has to say shortly. We'll hear what he's saying.
Okay.
We're about to.
I like this super chat. Will Trump just ignore that Cawthorn ever existed after tonight? Junie, you know I love you. That's so good. I'm stealing it and I'm tweeting it. I'm literally copy pasting. That's such a great tweet. I really appreciate the content suggestion. Beautifully done. Beautifully, beautifully done. Seinfeld trivia. What's the name of the ventriloquist dummy Kramer owned? Oh, I don't remember. And since it ran across the room when Jerry was trying to sleep in Kramer's apartment, was it alive? I really don't remember that. Mr. Marbles? Okay. You guys remember that better than I do. Yeah, that's fair. Absolutely fair. Thank you to Betty Seamers for the website membership. You are number 112. And also want to say thank you to Stanley Minerick for gifting another subscription on the website. That's number 113. That subscription goes to Rob Motto. I said we would hear from a few people in the audience if we got to 100 new members. Let's do that. I'll take a couple calls via Discord here until the speeches begin. You can go to davidpakman.com/Discord if you would like to say something. Oh, you know what? Junie is actually waiting to chat. Junie, is it okay that I stole your super chat and tweeted it out? Is that okay?
That's okay. Do you hear me, David?
Yes, I do.
Did you say yes?
Yes, I do.
Okay, great. Yes. No, it's great. I feel very, very honored that you did that. Oh my God, I'm such a huge fan. Do you remember the last time that I called you by any chance?
You know, not offhand.
I called you like a couple of months ago.
Okay.
But for some reason, when I called you, I couldn't hear you on the other line, so it just kind of seemed like I just, interrupted you constantly on the other line of the phone. So yeah, I feel very bad about that. I'm sorry.
No problem. Apology accepted.
Okay, great. And so my question for you is, okay. So Madison Cawthorn obviously lost today.
Yes.
Hopefully the first of many. Hopefully Oz will lose as well. Where do you see the direction of the GOP after tonight, if with both of those losses and going into the midterms in the fall?
Well, I think it's too early to say. If a bunch of these Trumpists get knocked off in primaries, I think it's going to reinforce the anti-Trump wing, and it might even dissuade Trump from running in 24. It's just so early. We're happy about the Cawthorn loss, but this guy on screen, Mastriano, who's a Trump lunatic, he won, and it's still very early.
Right. That's so true, because I just don't really see where the GOP goes after Trump. I kind of feel like they kind of just die out once Trump is gone, because I don't really see DeSantis or anybody else has that weird Trump charisma that can carry the GOP in the future, at least in my opinion.
We will have to wait and see, but I think DeSantis could possibly step up.
Yeah, I can see that. I just don't see him as I guess charismatic as Trump is, at least just in my personal opinion. But who knows? You're right. But we'll see what the future holds. So
we will. Junie, always a pleasure.
Thank you, sir, and enjoy the rest of your night.
Sir, thank you. I appreciate that. There's Junie from Chicago. We are going to hear from one of the winners here. Let's check in. Oh no. Mehmet Oz is now only down by 1.4%. He is closing in. He is closing in, and I don't like what I see here at all. It's going very much in the wrong direction. Let's check in with Haley from Georgia. Haley, welcome.
Hey, David.
Hey, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
So from the standpoint of mobilizing for votes,
yes,
the right still seems very confused that Biden won the election, even though he was in the basement, right?
Well, they don't seem confused. They just don't believe it.
Yeah, because we weren't rallying like Trump was.
Yeah, there were, people were the boaters and the bikers and everybody,
Yeah. But we proved our point 7 million times over, right?
I would say so.
Yeah. Do you think that we should still push for more rallies coming up? I mean, even this year or in 2024, will the abortion issue push us further where we don't really have to do that much? Or was it simply a Biden versus Trump thing?
All else being equal, I'm always up for rallies. I want rallies. I want people gathering. I want people, uniting and activating and all of those things, all else being equal. So yeah, no, I don't think now is the time to stop activating.
Right. Yeah, I've been trying to contact the Democratic Party in Georgia, all of the people that run the party in my county, in the state. I even contacted both of my senators. I only got a call back from John Ossoff's office.
Really?
But I've been trying to organize here in Augusta, Georgia. Yeah.
All right. Well, Georgia votes on, is it May 24th? Is it next Tuesday?
Correct. Yes.
Well, we're going to be watching that very closely, Haley.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing early voting with my 7-year-old son this week. So he loves to go and push the buttons.
And that's totally legal, right?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, good. Beautiful. All right, Haley, good. Let's hope we have some favorable results in Georgia next week.
Yes, thank you.
All right, thank you. There is Haley from Georgia with a very powerful call. We're standing by here momentarily for Mastriano. Let's speak to, I don't know. Well, let's see what's up with Cliff from Seattle. Cliff, what's going on?
Hi, David. Do you hear me?
I do.
Great. Yeah, it's so cool to see you on a time day when I can join. But it's strange. I feel out of what I can do because I live in a pretty progressive area, and my representative is really great. My senators are okay. It's what do you recommend for those of us that live in these progressive hotbeds that just have to sort of hope that the rest of the country doesn't spiral downward too far?
You can phone bank for absolutely any race you're interested in. You know, you could just pick a race that matters. You could say, I think Pennsylvania Senate's going to be the difference maker. I'll phone bank there for Fetterman. You know, you can do that.
Is that one what you would recommend? I mean, I'm guessing once we come to the general, Pennsylvania is going to be pretty.
Yeah, I mean, listen,
pretty big
I think
news.
we should wait, but my instinct is Pennsylvania is going to be very important.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm just so upset about the whole Roe versus Wade thing. I have a daughter, and I worry about her future. But
Sure.
I feel like Washington's going to be okay. But it's I'm just so freaked out about the future of that.
Understandable. Well, listen, let's see what the races are looking like as we approach November, and then figure out where you want to get involved.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Thank you.
All right, Cliff from Seattle, thank you very much. We're going to listen to this victory speech momentarily. I want to say thanks to Wookie Jack, Cactus Matt, Erroneous, Tamps, and My Bag of Mangoes for the Twitch Prime subscriptions, putting us at 118. Let's listen to this Trumpist lunatic revel in his victory.
Follow the science.
Uh-oh. It's already bad.
Only a Democrat can get away with failed policies of sending the sick in their homes, killing thousands, and get away with it. And their darling, of course, would be promoted to Admiral, Woman of the Year.
Oh, my God.
Anyway. But they like to call people who stand on the Constitution far right and extreme. I repudiate that. That is crap. That is absolutely not true.
Oh, my God, this
Actually,
guy is
their
vile.
party, which the media stands for and advocates for, they've gone extreme. They're the ones that sent the sick back in their homes, their policies, Democrat policies.
What?
And killed so many. That's extreme. That's extreme forcing your kids to mask up. That's extreme forcing healthcare workers to lose their job for not getting a jab.
This guy is barely coherent.
Down half of the small business in our state and put people out of their life. That's extreme. Our view for Pennsylvania is one of hope and freedom, that people come here and walk as they see fit, not as some governor or some media hack sees fit. That's right.
This is
We're going to
horrible.
restore the dream to Pennsylvania, a place where you want to come and live. We're going to be the most prosperous state in the nation. We're going to open up our energy sector like you've never seen it before.
This guy is actually creeping me out.
Energy producer #1. That's going to bring jobs here, life here, prosperity here. It's going to be a marvel to watch. Josh Shapiro is backed by dark money, by unions, by corruption. They think.
Hey, will he go anti-Semitic on Josh Shapiro?
$20 and $30 million around. But the people of Pennsylvania, we're no longer asleep, and we do not consent. We saw in our own race here, one guy had like $16 million, right? And it's like single digits. I mean, you cannot buy elections anymore. Maybe that was true before COVID,
Kind of
but
untrue.
our eyes are wide open. I know as you travel the state here, we have a massive movement of people from the width and length of Pennsylvania who don't always agree with us on all issues. In fact, many of them used to be Democrats and recently switched so they could vote for us here, and it's fantastic.
Man, this is going to be a race to get involved in too. We got to make sure this guy loses.
We were out collecting. He's got to keep an eye on that phone there. Sorry. as you're out there collecting a record number for a Republican gubernatorial candidate, 29,000 signatures get me on the ballot. You converted that. It was beautiful. Thank you for doing that. That's when the swamps are like, uh-oh, maybe we should not discount this.
I don't know a thing about Josh Shapiro other than just from his name. I assume he's a Jewish guy. But I'm supporting Josh Shapiro.
We're going to work, Rebbe and I, together with you, we had the hardest working campaign in this primary. We're going to have the hardest working campaign in this general election.
This guy's really an inspirational speaker, huh?
Anyone watch our bus tour last week? Anyone paying attention saw that several of our stops were in traditional Democrat strongholds, like Pittsburgh and Erie, downtown Erie. We had 500 people come to our...
Something's definitely eerie about this speech, that's for sure.
I mean, it's fantastic. This is infectious here because we all love freedom. Everyone wants to walk and live as free men and women, right?
Let's just see, out of curiosity, I just want to see... Okay. Can we see how many votes Shapiro got? I know he was unopposed, but where can I see? I can't. I was curious how many people went and voted for him unopposed, just in comparison to all the people that voted in the GOP primary. But I guess that information's not there.
On day one, I'll be happy to reinstate any National Guard member or Air Guard member that was kicked out because of the jab for job requirement. Yeah. On day one, school transparency will be ordered.
Okay.
I mean, there's so much here. On day one, CRT's over.
There it is. Many of you in the chat, I know, were waiting for that.
Senator Doug Mastriano declaring victory in his Republican primary to be the next governor candidate from the Republican Party in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. He'll be facing off against the current Attorney General, Democrat Josh Shapiro. Josh Shapiro currently has COVID and is not going to be coming out to speak. He is at home
Convalescent
and will not be speaking this evening because of that. But let me bring in Dana and Abby because what we saw there was just...
Wow, what a situation. What a situation. The lead for Dave McCormick is now only 1.2 percentage points. This is very much not good. Very, very much not good. Voicemail.
Hey, David, I had a question. Do you think that the turnout in the primary on the Republican side and on the Democratic side tells you anything about the turnout in the general or indicates at all which of those two candidates would win?
I don't know. It's a historical question. We just have to look up whether it's predictive. And I don't know the answer, but I'll research it. Let's speak to a couple of other people. How about Ashley from, I believe it's Colorado. Is that right? Ashley from it says CO. I can't, is it Colorado? Ashley, you're on the air. Oops. Oh, God. I clicked disconnect right when I heard it. I apologize for that. Let's go to Jeremias from, is it Ashbury or Asheville, maybe?
Ashburn, Virginia.
Okay, there you go. Welcome.
Great. And it's Jeremias. I'm from Argentina as well.
Oh, no way.
No
Okay,
question.
beautiful. I love it.
Yeah, from Córdoba capital. Anyway, vital question.
Please.
Empanadas.
Yes.
Árabes?
How did I know? I have to tell you, right when you said you're from Argentina and you'd be asking a vital question, I knew it would be about empanadas. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, empanadas árabes or jamón y queso.
Well, I am off pork currently. So there's no ham and cheese for me, but I'm not familiar. Empanadas árabes. Let me see. I don't know. I don't actually know what's in
they're
that.
triangle shaped. It's just honestly, it's a bunch of beef and onion.
I don't think I've ever had that, to be honest, but that sounds great.
Yeah, they're really good.
Is that a regional thing?
That's a good question. It might just be a Córdoba thing.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm not certain on that one.
We're gonna have to
but
look into that. Yeah.
Second question: are you watching the Celtics game right now?
No, I'm not. Who's winning?
Miami just started winning in the middle of the third quarter. Celtics were beating them most of the time, but
Oh my
now
God.
Miami.
What a disaster.
Yeah.
What a disaster. I'll have to go check that out if after the stream, if it's still going on.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And third, some may say this is the most important question. Your beard. Shaving? What happened?
Oh, yeah. Every once in a while, I just start fresh. It's good. It lets you see if there's any ingrown hairs or any other things that have to be dealt with.
True.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Love the show, David. Adios.
All right. Thank you so much. We'll see you. What a beautiful phone call. I like that one. That was a good one. As we stand by, let's get an update here on the Mehmet numbers. Still a 1.2 percentage point lead for Dave McCormick. Let's see what else we've got here. Anybody else that wants to say hello? What about Zach from Delaware? Zach, go ahead.
Hey, David, how you doing today?
I'm doing well.
Oh, sorry. So I was just curious. I live in Delaware. So Delaware is a state where if you want to vote in a primary, it's not open. You have to be registered to party. So
yes,
as a progressive, what I understand, whereas you as a member of independent media wanting to stay registered independent, do you think it's important for progressives to make sure that they're able to push the Democratic Party more progressive and register if it's required in their states?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Everybody should advocate for the policies that they want, and progressives are part of that 100%.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Very succinct question, but I like it. Let's go to Spencer from Pennsylvania. Spencer, we're watching your state very closely right now. Spencer from Pennsylvania, you're on the air. Spencer from Pennsylvania, welcome. All right. Let's go to Matt from Virginia. Matt, go.
Hey, with your look on, current politics, at least for the Democrats being on the more negative side, what's your view just more in generally and, broadly speaking, the outlook for the United States and, the next 10 years? Is it, generally positive or generally negative? At least because for me personally, I feel that the next 10 years will be generally negative in terms of, how the United States operates, even internally and externally speaking.
My tendency on these things is to be a natural, cautious optimist. So my default would be to say, no, I do think that by many indicators, we're going to continue to see things improve. But I have to tell you, Roe v. Wade being done away with, if indeed that's what happens, that's a major right-wing victory. And it puts in doubt some of my natural cautious optimism. So I don't know. I'm not feeling as optimistic as I normally would.
Okay. I mean, so I was thinking more so do you foresee the United States, losing its dominant superpower status geopolitically or something to that effect? Maybe the U.S. dollar stops being the reserve currency.
I think it's definitely plausible that in a decade, it may indeed be China that is sort of the superpower and the U.S. would be secondary. I don't think that that's crazy to think is a possibility a decade out.
Okay. I mean, would you think that's maybe not so much beneficial for the United States, but for the world at large, maybe? Or
for China to be stronger than the U.S.? It's not obvious to me that China being the dominant superpower is good for the world. I'm not saying it's not, but it's not obvious to me that it would be. I'd have to be convinced of that.
Okay. I'm glad you have more optimism than I do, at least.
All right. Very good. Well, thank you for the call, Matt. Okay. Very good. Let's see if we can squeeze. Oh, let me go back to Ashley from Columbia or Columbus. I'm sorry. I heard you and then hung up at the last second there.
Turns out I was a few seconds behind on the stream, so I switched over as fast as I could.
Gotcha.
My bad. I just want to say I love the show.
Thank you.
Been watching for a long time. First time caller.
Thank you.
I was wondering what your thoughts on. So now that Roe v. Wade has, I know it not officially, but has essentially been overturned, has been shown to be that they're going to overturn it.
Right.
And with Republicans pretty much, in my opinion, winning on suppressing votes in most of the country.
Yeah.
Do you think we're going to see a real, scoping in on I know they're already attacking trans people, I've been firsthand of that, but do you think that they're going to go back to issues like gay marriage and sodomy and start specific attacks against that again, even though now that most Republicans are in favor of gay marriage? I saw something that was like 50, something that was like real close.
Listen, I think they absolutely are going to go after those things. Every time I say it, somebody will write in saying, David, that's a slippery slope or whatever. They're telling us that they're going to do it. Hey, stand by 1 second. We have a key race alert. Just hold on.
Race alerts. Let's go now to the Republican Senate primary in Pennsylvania. Former hedge fund manager Dave McCormick still in the lead.
Okay, so the alert is they don't have a result in Pennsylvania. Yeah, listen, they're telling us that they want to go further. Charlie Kirk said it. Greg Abbott said it. I'm not literally saying they're going to try to end interracial marriage. I think that they realize that's probably not a good idea, but they absolutely are going to try to go further. There's no doubt about it.
All right. Thank you for your insight on that.
All right. Thank
Love
you
the
so
show.
much.
Keep watching.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay. We are unlikely to have Pennsylvania results anytime soon. So this is going to end my coverage for today. I've got to get up in the morning and get tomorrow's show done. Okay. So we are going to wrap our coverage here. Madison Cawthorn has been defeated, and that is a delightful bit of news. I know that there's a lot of not great news coming out of tonight, including that Mastroni, I forget exactly how he spells his name, has won. That's not good, but it is a pleasure that Madison Cawthorn has lost. Per Dave Wasserman, I know that CNN hasn't yet called it. So I will be back with everybody tomorrow to review all of it. I really appreciate everybody that joined me. It's been an incredible evening. We will be back next Tuesday with more results and more insanity. Thank you to everybody who supported it, and we will see you very, very soon. Check out this video on our way out.
Trump was doing this with his personal toilet.
But sinks, toilets, and showers. Elements of bathrooms. 10 times, 15 times. Elements of bathrooms. We're looking very strongly at sinks and showers. Elements of bathrooms. 10 times, 15 times. Elements of bathrooms.
What on earth is going on with Trump and toilets? Trump's White House toilet would be clogged